is CLNS Radio, the home of Internet Sports Talk Radio.
This is a CLNSradio.com special edition broadcast.
We are joined by Xavier Silas, guard of the Maine Red Claws. Now, Xavier, for people that have not got to see you or had the privilege of, watching you play yet, how would you describe your game?
I think it's a lot of energy on both ends, able to score inside and out, and a lot of pressure on the ball defensively. That's what I've been focusing on this year.
Absolutely. And then going back, obviously you played at Northern Illinois. You were undrafted. However, you did end up playing with the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, going into that draft and when it ended and your name wasn't called, was that expected in your mind, or was it somewhat of a surprise?
No, it was somewhat of a surprise because we had interest from a few teams in the actual draft. So even down to the last pick, I was watching because Sacramento had the last pick and I had just left Sacramento. So, but even when the last pick was getting called, Philadelphia called me and told me that they wanted me to come into vet camp. So I didn't really have time to be upset or anything.
Right, I gotcha. And then, you sort of touched on, actually, since we're talking about Northern Illinois real quick, I know their Coach Montgomery I don't believe he coached you.
No.
They were in the news because they scored 25 points against Eastern Michigan just a couple of days ago. So I'm actually curious if you keep up with the program or, any former coaches or anything of that nature.
I don't keep up with the program really at all. I was watching them in their bowl game in the Orange Bowl, just to have some school pride. But other than that, I haven't really been keeping up with them this season. I think there's maybe one guy on the team that I played with still on the team, but I know those guys. I know the new coaching staff, and it was just one of those games where things weren't falling. I've talked to a few people still in the organization there, and they just said that it just wasn't falling in the first half, and it was just one of those tough games.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough game for both teams. It's not like Eastern Michigan. They only had like 42 points, so it wasn't, it was really defensive oriented. I just had to get it in there. Now, you sort of touched on what your biggest strength is, energy. Obviously, you bring size, defense. Now, during practice with the Red Claws, what are you specifically, working on to improve your game?
I'm running a lot of point guard in practice, decision making and ball handling and all of that stuff, but it's just a lot of repetition. I'm getting a lot of reps at the 1 and 2 now, and so it's just a process where I'm evolving into, pretty much whatever you need at the 1 or the 2.
Absolutely. Now, you're 6'5", so you definitely can pretty much play a lot of different positions. What are you most comfortable with? Obviously, I've seen you run the point before. I've also seen you, play the 2, a little bit of 3 actually as well. You as a player, obviously you'd play whatever they tell you to, but
right.
Where do you feel the most comfortable?
I think growing up, I never really wanted to get too comfortable at one thing. And so when I answer that question, I'll just say whatever they need me to do, mentally, I'll make myself comfortable with it. You know what I mean, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And then, who do you get compared to, if anyone? I know a lot of people, people always are comparing players at practice and whatnot. What player has, maybe not even you purposely try to mimic your game after, just for some reason a lot of people always say, he reminds me of this guy, or is there any specific player that you sort of have a game or get compared to?
Coach has said that defensively it's Rondo sometimes because I take certain chances. You know, you ever watch Rondo play? He takes chances on defense, and you know I do that. But it's also I'm still playing really good defense on the ball as well as off. So he said that a few times, but other than that, no, not really.
Right. Yeah, you're definitely a unique player for sure. And you know, what type of advantages or have you noticed, you know, playing for an organization such as the Red Claws, you know, specifically since they've become, you know, the sole affiliation with the Boston Celtics?
You know, I was able to experience it last year where we had, you know, all those affiliates, and now this year where we have one, and it's a big difference because it's really like a pipeline. You know, the Celtics guys are always here. They're always in the locker room. We've been up there and practiced at the facility a few times. It's a lot different than just being an affiliate of somewhere that's, you know, thousands of miles away that you never really see anybody. So I think that it's a positive thing now.
Absolutely. And then, you know, only a few more questions. Again, Xavier Silas, guard for the Maine Red Claws. I do appreciate your time. And, you know, I saw that you obviously played for Colorado and then Northern Illinois, and I saw you did have a short stint you obviously played for the Sixers and then in France. And I ask everyone this that I interview, and, you know, in your opinion, what do you think, you know, the biggest difference is, I guess, from college to the pros? It seems like, you know, that it, you know, it's a different game. It seems like it's a little faster, but if you could pinpoint the one thing, why do so many, you know, great college basketball players somewhat struggle a little bit early on in the NBA?
I think that it's just a completely different game. You know, the college game is completely different from the overseas game, and the overseas game is completely different from here. And so it's a different way that the game is played, and it is just almost hard to compare when you've played in all of them. You know, there's just a different way that you play the game, and so the pace is definitely different in the NBA than it is in college. The shot clock it changes so much. And guys in college, you know, play actually faster than people in the NBA do. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's weird because the pros, they play slower, but the game is faster, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it really does. And, you know, I've heard that answer many times. And, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Now, obviously, your father was James Silas. Obviously, he played in the ABA and NBA, I believe, from 72 to 82. Now, during his playing time, did that give you any type of advantage? You know, I guess growing up, did you get to attend a lot of games, always around it, or anything of that nature?
No, I'm the baby of the family, so he played from 72 to 82, and I was born in 88, so...
Oh yeah,
he
right.
was retired when I grew up, so I'm the kid that got to have him at home, and my brother's he was on the road for, so
yeah, I just wasn't even realizing.
I kind of lucked out in that aspect.
Yeah, so you got the dad at home aspect.
I just got the dad. I didn't get the pro.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, because you're young. You're only like 25, 26. So yeah. I apologize for not putting A and B together there. So I want to thank you for joining us. I know that you are on Twitter. You're very active. I know you got a lot going on with Instagram. So you know, what else you got going on? Just let us know.
Instagram is popping right now, so you got to go follow that. And Twitter, you know, Twitter's solid, but everything that I post on Instagram goes to Twitter anyway, so Instagram is a place to be.
And then how, like, for instance, I follow you on Twitter. Obviously, your Twitter handle is at Xavier Silas.
It's the same thing on Instagram as well.
Exactly what I was going to ask. So if I were to go check out Instagram, just the same thing, at Xavier Silas.
Exactly, yep.
Good stuff, man. Excellent stuff. You know, you're coming off a phenomenal game where you had 24 points. For people that don't know, you're having a very good season. It looks like that your minutes have increased recently. Has that been a plan, or is it just sort of, you just really don't know what to expect game by game?
Well, it is a D-League, and they were sending Chris Joseph down earlier in the season when he was with the Celtics, so that was kind of fluctuating. But I was actually playing a lot of 1 back then with Shelvin Mack. So it's just changing, We have Andre Barrett now, and he's running the 1 a lot. I'm starting at the 2, and when he goes out, I go to the 1. So it just changes, It's a lot of turnover in the D-League, and so you have to adjust and be able to do what they ask you to do. And so right now I'm just doing it.
Absolutely, and I know, I know you're very talented, and I guarantee you'll be in the NBA. There's no doubt in my mind. I have one last question, and it is, how is it living in Maine?
I actually like Maine. Portland is a nice city. The restaurants are nice. The weather has been pretty good, except for the past week. We had a lot of snow, and it's gotten really cold. But it's cool. I've been to a lot of other D-League cities, and it could be a lot worse. So when people talk about D-League cities, I think it's top 5 for sure.
Good stuff, Xavier Silas. Thank you so much, man. Good luck, and I'll be following you on Instagram and, of course, your career.
All right. Keep in touch.
Sure will. Thank you. That was Xavier Silas, currently the guard for the Maine Red Claws. Also, if you want to check out the Maine Red Claws, their next game is Thursday at Fort Wayne. Their next home game is Saturday, February 2nd, against Rio Grande Valley. All games are aired on WJJB 96.3 FM as well as HD on webcast. For tickets, you can call 207-210-6655. Also, for people that are unfamiliar with the Red Claws and, they only follow the Meet the Maine Red Claws that we do every week, they are currently tied in first place at 17-10, and Xavier Silas is averaging 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists a game. He's 6'5". He does it all. You definitely want to catch him and, watch him play. And all of Maine Red Claws, they're a very, very good team, fundamentally sound. They got size. They can do a lot of things. So if you have not had a chance to see him, all their games, again, are webcasted live in HD right online. Just Google Maine Red Claws and you'll find it. And I urge you all to do that. One other thing, Maine has teamed up, and they are now kicking off Hoops for Hope, which starts February 2nd, and the Maine Red Claws are jump-starting the new fundraiser for the Center for Grieving Children, and the center works with bereaved kids and families. Now, they have teamed up with the Red Claws to start the program, of course, Hoops for Hope. Basketball fans and businesses will be able to pledge money for every free throw the team makes at home this season. In turn, with the help from sponsor General Dynamic Bath Iron Works, the team will donate $20 for every free throw sunk. The goal is to raise right around $12,500. So for more information on how you can pledge, go to cgcmaine.com/hoops4hope. And again, that kicks off Hoops for Hope Saturday, February 2nd. So, all good stuff. Go to cgc.org/hoops4hope and find out how you can pledge. And for Meet the Maine Red Claws and CLNSradio.com, my name is Chris McCarthy, and you have been listening to my interview with Xavier Silas.
This is a CLNSradio.com special edition broadcast.